What is up, guys? I had a request come in from one of my Patreon supporters, and he asked if I could make a similar sound that Tristan made in his psychedelic drums tutorial, but using Serum. Now, this is not something that I'd usually make in Serum because the basis of the sound is a sample, and the idea is he's tweaking the sample using sampler parameters. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you guys a little something that Serum can do. So let's check it out, the Tristan style psychedelic drums with Serum. So the idea behind Tristan's psychedelic drums sound is he takes a conga or bongo percussion loop and chops it up into different samples and tweaks the samples from there. So Serum doesn't have the same capabilities in terms of being able to trigger different samples and stuff like that, but I figured we could create a very similar sound using one-shot bongo or conga type sounds. So as some of you may know, Serum has got this noise oscillator built in, and this allows you to trigger samples. So what you guys can do is you can go over here to the menu, you can click Show Serum Presets folder, and what that's going to do is it's going to take you to your Documents folder where all your preset data and noise samples and everything is kept for Serum. And inside this Noises folder, you can see I've created my own folder there, Glitch, Sigh, Noises. And what I do is I just throw any random sort of one-shot drum sounds and stuff in there. And I've actually thrown a couple of bongo and conga sounds. So if you guys have similar sounds, you can throw them in and we can experiment with them and follow along to this tutorial. So I'm just going to load up one of these bongo sounds and we can turn off oscillator A so that all we're hearing is going to be the sample that we want to trigger. So you'll notice if you hold the sample down, it re-triggers, and you don't necessarily want that. You want it to be a one-shot. So let's click that over there. So now the sample's only going to play once through. So the idea now is we want to create some sort of modulation for this pitch. So in the original tutorial, I believe Tristan linked a MIDI control to the pitch parameter, and then he tweaked it from there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a trick to create some random effects and to bounce some different loops out of it and get some really varying sort of results. So let's go over to the matrix, and over here let's click Note on Rand 1, and the destination we want to be noise osc pitch. And you can turn this up as much as you want. So now what's going to happen is every time we trigger a note, it's going to randomly generate a different pitch for the noise. Because we wanted to go downwards as well, we want to click this type over here to bipolar so that it goes both ways. So once you've got the pitch assigned, you can actually cycle through the different samples that you've loaded up to see which one sounds the best when it goes up and down and all random like that. And I found this one over here which sounds cool. So to create the same sort of gating effect that Tristan used, what I want to do is I want to create a velocity parameter on the decay over here. So now to create that sort of varying delay type of flange effect, I want to use Serum's flange filter over here. Let's put it on H6+. Cool, let's set the cutoff to about there, and then let's also apply a velocity to that. And let's put the velocity onto the resonance as well. Cool, now let's put some ping pong delay on here. Let's put it to 1/8 dotted, my favorite. Cool, so now let's put the kick and bass over here, and let's play that while we randomly input some notes. So if you're a Cubase user, you might want to just take note of this little menu here. If you press F2, it brings up your transport panel. Sometimes it's not visible depending on what mode you're in, or depending on what workspace you prefer to use. So you can just click here, record mode, and over here you'll see it's on for me, but you might just want to click auto quantize. So now what I do is I'll just hit record and randomly tap in notes, you know, as I feel like the groove will work. And the auto quantize will automatically slot those into the 1/16, as long as I've got here selected 1/16. once I've got my pattern in, I just go back and start editing the parameters until I've got something that really sounds good. Cool, I like how that sounds. So now with this type of thing, what I do is I'll turn off the delay before I bounce it, because that gives me the freedom to kind of change the sort of rhythm and stuff without having to, rebounce without delay and then apply delay again and stuff like that. So I usually just turn off the delay in the beginning because I know I'll probably end up changing the rhythm and chopping it up and sort of glitching it up and stuff like that. So, and then also I'll apply an EQ and just cut out all the low end before I bounce it. So now let us render this. So you might have to render it a few times because of the sort of random trigger pitch thing. You might not get the exact variation that you want every single time. So it might help to render it, listen to it, render it, and just see which one works the best. What I like to do is let's just put a ping pong delay here so we can hear what it sounds like, and we can always swap the different samples that we create sort of live on the fly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this preset to my Patreon folder for you guys. But one thing to note that it's not going to come with the noise samples. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to load your own, or you can use one of Serum's built-in ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this preset using one of the built-in Serum ones, and I'm just going to show you quickly. So that's how you guys will be getting the sound. You can just load your own samples in there and you're good to go. So let me know what you guys think of that. I hope that helps you create some of your own unique psychedelic drum sounds in Serum. If you like what I do and you want to support my channel, head on over to my Patreon and check out the different pledges I've got there. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.